Well, good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Thanks for asking. Oh, mercy. I am at the Fargo Magnum Terminal. Yeehaw! Yeah, I'm taking a 34-hour. I'm supposed to be picking up a student day after tomorrow. Student, not a student, but a trainee. Already got his CDL. Supposed to teach him how to be a truck driver in 30 days. But got a text message from him today. Said he was in the hospital having a little medical issue. Said he only expected to be there for one day. Well, that puts a lot of confidence in a trainer's mind, huh? That's actually not what I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your dreams and inspirations. Everything you do in life has steps to become successful. Now, don't get me wrong. You can be very successful as a company driver. I can actually see where I could stay right here at Magnum and make between 120 and 150,000 a year as a company driver. That's possible. Now, if you're just running miles and think you're going to do that with miles alone, you're probably out of your brain housing group. Maybe someday I'll do a video on that, how to make 150 grand a year as a company driver. It can be done. But I'm going to talk about basically your dreams. Whatever it is that you want to do in life. Be very cautious when you share your dreams and inspirations with others. Because it's like this. If you tell somebody that you're going to do something that most people would think was fairly mediocre, oh, you'll get all the support in the world with that. Matter of fact, everybody's wanting to tell you how to do that, right? Yeah, mediocrity. Being mediocre, doing something common, flowing the same direction as all the other fish in the sea. There was a very famous poem, actually it wasn't a poem, it's a little short story, called Jonathan Livingston Seagull, written by Richard Bach. I gave it to my daughter when she was real young to read. She was probably like in 3rd grade. Because it has an inspiration to it of don't be normal. Don't be the status quo. Think outside the box. Follow your passions in life. Good book. You can read it in like 15, 20 minutes. Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. Now, the best book he ever wrote was Illusions. If you've never read Illusions by Richard Bach, that is a must-read. That's also another book that you can read in, in under 3 hours. It's like 90 pages. When you get done reading that book, you think you could walk to the edge of the concrete, dive off into the grass, and swim across the yard. It's a book all about mind over matter. And that's what a lot to being successful is believing that you can. There are some people that don't even try to be successful and become the most successful people in the world. There was this, when I lived out in California, I lived on the beach, and there was this kid. He was about 16, 17 years old. His mother and father had passed away and left him a crap load of money, house on the beach, nice big fat bank account that he could live off of for years. But all he wanted to do was ride his skateboard up and down the boardwalk there on the beach. And I was always talking to him. I said, dude, you got to do something with your life. You got to do something with your life. See, I'm just like everybody else, telling him that he's got to be responsible, get a job, all these other kind of things. He's like, nah, all I want to do is ride my skateboard. Man, was I wrong. Another guy I ran into when I was skydiving, I was a jump master / instructor, but anyway, I was coaching this guy. He was on a crash course. He was doing everything real fast. He was showing up day after day after day. You need to learn how to skydive real quick. Learned how to fly his body in the air the whole bit. And he wanted to learn it very fast. So we were doing, 4 or 5 jumps a day. And I was his coach. Now, one of the rules at the drop zone when you're skydiving is we don't talk about work, what you do for a living. Because this is our escape. This is how we get away from the world. That's one thing nice about skydiving is when you're falling out of the sky, I assure you that there is absolutely nothing else you're going to think about. You don't think about the kids' problems. You don't think about the rent being due. You don't think about any of your bills. You don't have any problems in life when you're in free fall. It's one of the greatest natural highs and best escapes from reality that I've ever experienced. But generally after about 4 or 5 days coaching somebody in skydiving, you kind of get enough feel for them that you can pretty much guess what they do for a living. This guy I just couldn't figure out. So finally, it was about the 4th or 5th day, we'd, made 15, 20 jumps together. And I asked him, I said, dude, I'm curious. I said, this is kind of a no-no here at the drop zone, but I gotta ask you, because most people I can figure out, but you, man, I'm not getting a handle on it. What is it that you do for a living? And I got to remember, this guy's in his 30s, early 30s. He goes, I ride BMX bikes. What? Motocross bikes. BMX, that's like bicycles, like you pedal them, right? Yeah. And you're like 30 years old and you do that. Yeah. And you make a living at it. Yeah, fairly good living at it. Really. Wow. Now there's another guy that's a great example, but I never met him. Would love to have. He's one of my heroes. I play woodwind saxophone. It's my main instrument, but used to play with the Oklahoma City Symphony. Played contralto for the symphony. That was back when I was a youngster. But anyway, this guy's one of the best saxophone players in the world. And he was the same way. All he wanted to do was sit in the basement and play his horn. And all of his friends were on his case all the time. Dude, you got to find something where you can make a living. You got to get a job. You got to do this. You got to fly like all the other birds, man. You got to do like all the rest of us. He was always like, man, just leave me alone. All I want to do is sit in the basement here and play my horn. See, everybody else was willing to give these people advice. The first guy on the skateboard that I knew personally, that I was edging, that, man, you got to do something with your life. You want to know what his name is? It's Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk. The world's most best-known skateboarder in the world has made more money at riding that dadgum skateboard than I'll probably ever see. What do you say to Bingers? To Bingers. The other guy that rode BMX bikes in his early 30s said he made a good living at it. I didn't even know knew who he was, His name was Matt Hoffman. Who the hell's Matt Hoffman? Yeah, after he told me, I had to go to the DZO and ask, who the hell's Matt Hoffman? He goes, You never heard of Hoffman bicycles? I said, no. He goes, oh, he's like the number one dude in the world with BMX bikes. Really? He makes a living at it? Yeah, he's worth millions, dumbass. And I'm like, really? I had no idea. The other guy that just wanted to sit in his basement and play his horn all the time, his name was Kenny G. There's a couple of different ways to be successful in life. Some people do it by accident, just because they have a passion for it, a passion that drives them to be the very best in the world. I don't care what it is that you choose in life. If you strive to be the best at it in the world and you work toward that goal, you're going to make money. Don't worry about the money. Don't ever look at the money. Worry about being the best. The money will come no matter what it is. If it's something stupid like riding a skateboard or riding a BMX bike or just sitting in the basement playing a horn, doesn't matter. But if you become the very best in the world at it, you're going to make a crap load of money. I started off talking about being careful about who you tell your dreams to. When you tell somebody that you're going to do something fairly mediocre, everybody's got all the advice in the world. You go, man, you can do that. But if you tell them that you want to do something exceptional, above par, to be at the top of the cream of the crop, that you want to be the very best in the world at it, everybody that you think is important in your life, friends, family, the people that you hold most dear and closest to yourself, will crush your dreams. They will give you all the reasons why you cannot do that. You want to try it out? Just try it out tomorrow. Tell somebody that's close to yourself that you want to do something exceptional. And listen, they're going to tell you all the reasons why you can't. All the reasons why you're going to fail. What prompted me in this video was I just got done talking to a truck driver that's been driving a truck for 10 years. And he's a company driver. And I asked him, I said, do you ever think about getting in your own truck? He goes, yeah. He goes, I tried that. He goes, but you just can't make it today in your own truck. What? Why would you say something like that? He goes, well, the cost of maintenance, he goes, the cost is so high and this, that, and the other. Profit margin so small. You know, it's amazing to me. And you hear a lot of people here on YouTube talk about being an owner-operator. Be careful who you talk to. Because if they're not an owner-operator, they're going to give you all their own personal excuses why they're not one. Why they haven't achieved success. It's all bullshit. This is what I don't get. Let me give you an example. This company right here, Magnum, which I think is the best company to work for, getting in here, getting your feet wet, get your first 2 years underneath your belt so that you can go on to bigger and better things. I don't think there's a better seat in the industry than Magnum. But with that said, you've also heard me say that there's no reason for being a company driver for more than 2 years. Once you've been a company driver for 2 years, you're paying attention, you're watching, you're thinking. You should have figured out enough of the game to understand how it works by now. Now, you're not going to know all the ins and outs. You're not going to know how to negotiate a load, how to tell a good broker, what's good freight, what your cost is per mile. These are all things that you're going to have to learn. But you know enough at 2 years in the business that it's probably time for you to get in your own truck. Now, I hear a lot of guys on YouTube say they're owner ops when they're not. They're lease operators. They're leasing a truck. And then they're driving, a lot of times they're driving for the same company that they're leasing the truck for. It's the most dumbass thing I've ever heard in my life. I have never seen this be a good deal. All right? You're gonna buy your truck, you're gonna take all the responsibilities of ownership, and then you're gonna have one client that gets to set the rate on what you pull freight for. Does that sound smart to you? That is a win contract for the guy that sold you the truck and you're hauling his freight. That's the guy that's winning. Would you get down? You're breathing in my face. You really do. You know what? Don't go ootsy cutesy on me. Go back here and brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. Go on. You got bad breath. If there wasn't any business, if there wasn't any money in this business, do you think these companies would be buying all these thousands of trucks? Think about it. These companies out here are buying a truck, putting a driver in it, and making money. Duh. I've got a lot of friends that are owner-operators. This guy I just got done talking to, he wanted to give me all the reasons why there is to fail at being an owner-operator today. I told him I was an owner-operator back in the 80s and 90s, pretty much aware of what's involved with the game. He goes, yeah, but there's a different era. Man, cost is more, this is more. Man, blow that out your ass. What you're doing is you're telling me all the excuses and all the reasons why you're going to remain as a company driver for 10 years. Sorry, but don't want to be in your same boat, okay? Most of my friends are all owner-operators. And most of them are grossing around $9,000 a week or better. Now that's gross. They're grossing around $9,000. They're getting home with $3,000 to $4,000 a week. That's not reason enough to give up with a little bit extra headache of being responsible for your own game. You know, when you're making $150,000 a year, between $120,000 and $150,000, why don't you be just a little disciplined? First $20,000, bank it. Don't touch it. That's your emergency fund, your maintenance fund. You got $20,000 in the bank as an owner-operator, you ain't got a care in the world. Just run. That's the other thing, is guys that come out here, they become an owner-operator because they want freedom so they can go home where they want. If you run that truck like you did when you were a company dude, you're going to make frickin' money. But if you're going home every 3 or 4 days for a day or two, guess what? You probably ain't going to make it. Because your cost is still high, but you've lowered your revenue because you're not running. Don't let somebody else pee on your parade. Don't let anybody else steal you of your dreams. Be the fish that swims against the current. Be the bird that flies a little bit different, that tries to be exceptional. Have a passion for what you do and try to be the very best at it that you possibly can. Try to be the very best in the world at it, and you will succeed. Anyway, wow. My videos, I try to keep them under 10 minutes. This one's gone almost 20. I'm going to get out of here. Call it a night. Get some rest. Get up in the morning, try to be the best I can be. God bless each and every one of you. Make sure that when you go through the world that you leave it a better place. It's pretty easy to change the world through one random act of kindness at a time. So be nice to each other. Bye-bye.